I am at El Ateneo, what's it called? El Ateneo, which is the grand, splendid bookstore, voted the most beautiful bookstore in the world. But here's the thing, don't do what I did. Don't half-ass your way through Spanish class, because this library ain't full of books in English. This library is full of books in Spanish. And if you're gonna read a Spanish author, you wanna read a Spanish author in Spanish. So I can do it, but I definitely need a dictionary with me, and I need, I don't know, someone to hold my hand, because my Spanish sucks, más o menos. And this bookstore is absolutely glorious. I know what you're asking. Milner, don't you feel like a douche shooting selfies in the most beautiful bookstore in the world? The short answer is yes, but thankfully I'm not alone. There are countless other people in here doing the same kind of douchey behavior. So it's almost in a way douchey camouflage being in here and filming myself. I do have to say though, I am a major fan of bookstores. I'd probably rather go to a bookstore than an art museum, but I would probably still put a natural history museum above the bookstore, but it's pretty close. Now, I have not yet been to the photography section of this bookstore, but I might venture over there. It's pretty great, but man, again, if you're going to read a Spanish author, you really want to read a Spanish author in Spanish. So I don't know what you're waiting for, slackers. Why don't you sign up already? The very first book I see in the photo section, Santa Fe, New Mexico photographer Michael Clark. What the hell? Where's my book? It's not fair. Amazing Latin American photographers here. 99% of I've never heard of. Here's a book on the war in the Falkland Islands. You've got an Inca Trail book. You've got a bunch of people I've never heard of before. Diego Ortiz Mujica. You've got Santiago Porter. You've got Guillermo Srodek Hart. Yeah, tons of people, new discoveries here in the photo book section. Not bad. And oh, by the way, they all look like they're black and white. No idea. Maybe color hasn't arrived yet here. I don't know, except for my schnazzy buff. It might look like I'm sitting on a park bench. That's a book. And you would be correct. I am sitting on a park bench in Buenos Aires that is a giant book, because I am in front of the Biblioteca Nacional. More on this in a minute. It's pretty windy out here, so I think I'm going to move and record something just really saucy and dynamic here for you in a second, but I need to find a little bit more tranquilo location. So as I mentioned, I am at the Biblioteca Nacional. This is my second full day in Buenos Aires. Tomorrow I transfer hotels, and then the following day we fly to Ushuaia. My second full day here, I have not seen a single human being with a camera in 2 days, which is absolutely bizarre and kind of unheard of. Yes, I've seen people with mobile phones, but I've not seen someone with a quote-unquote real camera in 2 days, which is kind of odd. You'll hear a lot of like terror and horror stories about safety in Buenos Aires, but so far I have not felt one iota of anything here in terms of, you know, having to get into sketchy sections or really watch myself. It's been pretty easy. Having said that, I'm going to go through my bag here in a second, because I'm using a little bit different bag, just as a precautionary measure. But it's warm today. It's mid-80s and humid, but it's not like Cambodia hot or Panama hot, where really the only thing you can do is wear a Speedo and carry a machete in those countries. That's it. You're reduced to Speedo and machete, maybe a bus token slipped inside the band of your Speedo, but that's about it, because the heat is so overwhelmingly oppressive in those places. But here, it's really nice. January and February are going to get even warmer here, but as of now, it's not too shabby. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. You know, in the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin, where he's working at the gas station and the sniper comes and takes a shot at him, and he's hiding behind the oil cans, and the sniper hits the oil cans, and he goes, "Oh my God, he hates these cans." And then he runs over by the soda machine, and the sniper takes another shot at him, and he's like, "Die, gas pumper." And then Steve Martin looks in, and he goes, "Oh, there's cans in here too. He hates these cans." I feel the exact same way, but with books. Check this out. That is the Biblioteca Nacional. That is the National Library here in Buenos Aires, and it's a pretty amazing looking building. we're gonna go in there and have a little look-see, and then we're heading over to just a quick stop at a museum, and then I have to go meet with someone who I'm gonna be working with over the next week or so. So that's about it. That's where we're at. I'm going in for a little look at more books. I lied. One more thing. I told you I was gonna talk about the bag that I'm carrying. So this, if you can see it, this is a, what's it called? Kinesis photo gear. Now, this was my friend who committed suicide. It was his bag. So in essence, he didn't need it anymore. So now it's mine. You might think I'm being callous there, but he would love that joke. And wherever he is right now, he's probably laughing and saying, you know what, dude, I'm glad you have my bag in Argentina. But this bag allows me to get my Nikon camera inside completely so that you can't see it. The other fanny pack I love that I have is a Cotopaxi, but you can't get the camera in unless you're using an X100V. And the Nikon is twice the size of an X100V. And so one of the things is I can't really use that fanny pack, the other one, if I want to conceal the camera. Now this bag also will hold my journal, my Kindle, and this camera that I'm using here, the Insta360 Go. So hang on. Porque este es peligroso? Oh, yeah. Nah, accidentes para los otros personas. Gracias. So he was trying to tell me that I might fall off and die. And my friend who is no longer with us, he might think that's funny too. But time to go inside, and that's the bag I'm using. And again, I was mentioning that it holds my Kindle, my journal, my camera, this Insta camera, and quite a bit else more if I want to use it. But and it's a sling bag, which I hate because my back is so completely screwed up. But it's worth it just for a couple days. Okay, so slight change of plans. I do not have an ID with me because I'm just walking around Buenos Aires, and I left it in the safe in the hotel, as I normally do. Now, I should have some sort of ID on me, and I tried to show the guard the picture of myself in my journal just to see what would happen, and that was not met with any real kind of positive reception. That was met with bewilderment and a little bit of perturbed attitude, if you will. And so I started to question the guard just for fun. I'm like, why would I need an ID to get into a library? And it's not like a library card. This was like an official documentation process. And she was like, I don't really know. And then she goes, oh, by the way, do you have a camera in your bag? And I said, yes. And she goes, you know, you cannot take pictures of this building. And I was like, what? You can't take pictures of the library? She was like, no, there's no pictures of the library. She goes, all the other buildings around here you can shoot, but you cannot shoot the library. And I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know. So not that I was really intending to make pictures of the library, but now that I can't make pictures of the library, it kind of makes me want to take pictures of the library. But I will forego because I don't want to be a jerk. It's their country, their rules, and I totally get it. But anyway, I will be sitting outside waiting just for a few minutes, and then I will make my way to somewhere else in the city. Yeah, that's it. That's all I know. Dan Milner reporting from Buenos Aires. So my wife got into the library, which means she knows I'm waiting outside, which means she will take her own damn sweet time in that library knowing that I'm stuck outside. That's called a power play, people, and right now she's on top. But don't worry, I'll get her back somehow later today. I'll probably wait for her in the hotel room and then I'll jump out and scare her. Could be anything like that. But as I've got some time now and I'm looking out and peering out at the city of Buenos Aires, I just wanted to give you a little, a little take on the city itself. So clearly I'm an expert. I've been here for 2 days now, so you should listen to everything I'm saying about the city. This is my opinion so far. Spacious, quiet, mellow compared to a lot of the other big Latin cities I've been to, Latin American cities. It's nice. The traffic is like super mellow. Traffic here is 10% of what if you go to a city like Los Angeles. Los Angeles is horrible. There's just no two ways about it. Last night we were coming back from dinner at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. It was glorious. There was no one on the road. And all I could think about was the 110, 101 interchange in Hollywood. Like 3 in the morning, it's just gridlock as far as you can see. LA sucks. No offense, LA. I just don't like LA. But this place is really nice. The people are super friendly. The food, of course, is great. yeah, I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. It's not, I wouldn't call it exotic. You know, it's not like Cuzco in Peru or something like that. Obviously apples and oranges there, but another interesting little factor is that the architecture is incredibly diverse, block to block, building to building. You might have some ancient ruin type thing right next to a glass and steel modern condo building. That's a little interesting. But overall, I'm digging it. And the nice riverfront water area, which I haven't quite been to yet, but I can see it from my hotel room. And lots of wood, lots of meat. People are just ripping into giant pieces of charred mammal flesh wherever you go. And if you order a salad, forget it. Forget it. You're instantly on the shit list if you order a salad. That's just quitting. But anyway, tons of parks, tons of green areas. They have these incredible, you can maybe see them behind me a little bit, these 200-year-old incredible trees all over, lots of parks, very lush, humid but not crazy. And yeah, I'm digging BA. If you've never been here before and you've never been to Latin America, this is a really easy entryway into Latin America and is not crazy like some of the other cities that you're going to run into. Could be good. It's a long flight, 10 hours out of Dallas to get down here, but you know, if you've ever flown to Asia or Australia, you're like, that's nothing. That's a warm-up. So anyway, I'll just shut up now and just go on about your life. Don't worry about me. Nothing to see here. Hey, is that a statue coming out of your head? Yeah, so I'm near this Mitre statue guy, and I just had the best 5 minutes I've had in Buenos Aires. It was perversely satisfying, but not in the way that you would think. Let me explain. Hopefully this is not too windy. So, I go to this place, just a quick stop because I'm right next to it, the Museum of Decorative Art, right? Lots of paintings of dead people, but it was really cool, interesting. Again, I'm there for like 5 minutes. And I walk in there and I'm like, wow, there's a whole bunch of pairs of like young women, like mid-teens to early 20s, paired up, and they're dressed like they're going to the club, and I mean dressed like going to a strip club. And I'm like, what's going on here? This seems a bit odd for a museum. And then I realized the entire place is nothing but a selfie station for all of these girls going in there to take pictures of themselves, which is just bizarre. And the poor security guards are sitting there watching this happen all day long, and I felt so bad for them because they basically are taking what this place is and just demoralizing it with the selfies. So it gets better. So I'm in there and I finally see somebody with a camera, like a legitimate camera, and I'm thinking, holy crap, somebody else in this country has a real camera. And it's a full frame camera with a fast 50, and it's a little hipster that has this camera, and I'm thinking, okay, somebody's been watching YouTube, right? But this is where it gets good, and again, perversely satisfying. This is terrible what I'm about to say, but it's true because I did really enjoy it, which tells you how twisted I am. So they have this camera, but what are they doing with it? They're trying to shoot selfies in the mirror at the museum. But they pick the camera up, and clearly they don't know how it operates. So you can see the thumb on the thumb wheel, and they're raking through the entire f-stop range trying to get to a usable f-stop. Like, you could just see their mind going, okay, I'm inside, I think F32 is bad, I think I need to go the other way. So they go all the way through the thumb wheel, all the way through the f-stop range. Then the camera won't fire. So now they flip open the back screen and they go menu by menu through the camera. They don't know how the menus work at all. So now like 3 minutes has gone by, 4 minutes has gone by. They're banging on the shutter button, and they're punching every button they can in the menus, not really paying attention to what those buttons are doing or the menu settings are. They're just hoping, like, you know, sign of the cross, hoping that something is going to allow this camera to fire. Then they put the camera back up to their eye and realize they've gone the wrong way on the f-stop dial. So the thumb dial, rack, all the way back in the other direction. And now at least 5 minutes has gone by and not a single photo has been made. I'm just glowing. I'm glowing in the afterlife, the afterglow of what watching someone struggle like that, who bought the camera but apparently never learned the photography part. Yeah, bizarre. That's what happens when you're about to turn 55. You have to take simple pleasures in life. That was one of them.